Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, presented by Superbook Sports. Taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome into Coffee Break. Will Peterson and D-Mac. D-Mac, let me see your new mug.
Got a new one. It's customized for Father's Day.
With the cats. Incredible. I love to see it. Your tiny overlords.
My tiny overlords, Ross and Rachel.
Who got you that? Kim?
My wife
Incredible.
Loves getting customized names on your stuff. So we have all sorts of names on our stuff. And now I have one. And this was technically my Father's Day gift from Ross and Rachel the cat.
I love it. Well, you can tell Kim to call me up because I just bought a Cricut to help with DIY wedding stuff. So I can DIY whatever she wants. Any t-shirts, anything, have her call me up. Mugs, hats,
yeah, anything. What's the wedding update, Rachel? Let's hear it. What's today?
Nothing. Trying to schedule some venues. Not looking good. Right now I'm going to the mountains all 3 days this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So lots of driving to Vail, Breckenridge, all over. Winter Park, possibly, all over the place. So wish me luck because it's like 8 hours of driving. Well,
Winter Park, sneaky good. Winter Park. They have done a lot of development in their base area. It's really pretty cool. It's way different than it was 10 or 15 years ago. Beautiful.
Still a little expensive, though.
Well, listen, I can get you on a chairlift at Loveland up in the summer with Parker the Snow Dog for about $10.
Right.
There's you can drive to the top of Loveland Pass and bring along a preacher or something. There's ways to do it cheaper, Rachel.
Did you know that your dog can legally marry you in the state of Colorado?
Duh.
Okay, I didn't know.
Of course, I did not know that.
All right. Well, good morning.
Good job. That's a lot of responsibility for me. It's enough with I gotta choose this plate or that plate or this or that. I don't know.
I know. Well, good morning.
Yeah, I'm good. I feel like AJ Hawk on the Pat McAfee show. I just stare at the camera and do this.
Take your head, right?
All right, two questions. First of all, is it a summer wedding or a winter wedding, Rachel?
The fall wedding.
All right, so I appreciate you exploring the mountains, and I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
But you just got to be careful that if you get married in October in Vail, maybe your winter wonderland. I don't know if that's something you want.
So we're early October, if not the last week of September, depending on the venue. So hopefully right when the leaves are like beautiful and peaking, but there is the risk of snow. But I'd honestly rather have snow than rain.
Yeah.
So
snow, you get like fun, cool photos and you would embrace it. Rain, you'd just be like, okay, this is fun, but I'm kind of miserable.
Rain is the worst.
Yeah.
Snow would be kind of romantic and I think actually kind of fun.
Right?
Frankly, snow may be magical. Rain is like a disaster. Rain is the absolute worst. And next to rain is just cold temperatures for like no reason.
Yeah.
But rain would be a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, you're telling me if you're going to pay $2,000 to get your hair and makeup done and then 10 seconds later it's destroyed, absolutely dreadful. But speaking of cold, the Broncos released this teaser that you're going to see on the left hand of your screen. It says 7/25/23. Looks like some ice cracking. So let's try and decode, guys. What do we think this means coming out of the Denver Broncos headquarters, Will?
Well, I definitely think it's some sort of uniform helmet. They already made that announcement coming fall 2023. Something new. Damani Leach has teased this. He's very active on social media. Mm-hmm. But I got to give credit to Andrew Mason. I'm not going to steal his idea. He thinks it's going to be an all-white uniform with a throwback helmet. That's his guess of what is going to be revealed. I'm not the biggest uniform guy in the world, but I know a lot of people care about uniforms, so I'm certainly plugged in. And I'll give the Broncos credit. This does have me curious, D-Mac.
Cracked ice. It's got to be a uniform thing. So I actually thought what a sick little uniform would be is like a real, like, when you look at ice, it's not white, is it? It's more like pale blue. And can you imagine sort of a reflective, pale bluish white sort of outfit top to bottom with maybe a reflecting, these helmets these days are awesome. You know, they're like multicolor, like they can change colors where you turn them. So I think it's going to be something a little bit more dramatic than just like white. I think it's going to be more of that cracked ice. It's got to look like ice, whatever it is.
So when I look at it, I see obviously there's something down at the bottom of that image that they have. And that to me looks very white, but you can also see a tiny bit of what I'm assuming is the color orange. So I am wondering if it's a white helmet with like an orange D or I don't know, any old Broncos logo. So I'm very curious. They definitely have me intrigued. And I like that they didn't give away too much with this. Like, I feel like sometimes with teasers, you're like, okay, well, I know it's coming. This one, I'm like, okay, 7/25. When is it? Like, when are we going to do this? So I'm curious for everybody in the comments too.
Cracked. The theme though is cracked ice.
Yeah.
Which I think is I think that sounds pretty cool. Who is that? Gosh, 25. That's
Chris Harris Jr.
What's that?
I said Chris Harris Jr. You were looking. I thought you were looking for number 25.
No, I'm looking for the game. Who's the game against?
July 25th, there's no game.
Oh my God, 7/25. I am a moron. Oh my God, I am so stupid. I was thinking 7 for like September. I am an idiot. I am a moron. My bad. Sorry.
No, D-Mac,
Oh
we're revealing it in 12 days.
Moron.
Tuesday, July 25th. 12 days from now.
Yeah, who's the game against on Tuesday, July 25th?
Yeah. I think that's
God,
the day.
I am so stupid. I swear to God, I've been looking at that for like 2 hours today, thinking September, like week 3.
Wow.
I am so boy, am I dumb. Okay.
Ice cold for sure. I saw this comment. I'm not buying any alt jersey. I won't buy a current player or jersey either. I bought Vaughn. He's gone. I bought Arenado the week after he signed his extension. He's gone. Will you guys buy any alternate uniforms?
Well, I think you can buy a Jokic. I think you can buy a Jokic. I think you can buy a McKinnon. I think you can buy a McCarr. Those 3 guys aren't going anywhere. So sorry about your Vaughn and Arenado investments, but I just gave you 3 that are pretty darn safe.
Listen, I just don't buy team gear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you give me? I remember like maybe 2 weeks ago, D-Mac was like, "Yeah, I don't own anything. I don't buy any of it. I don't see the point in it." So yeah, Mr. NBA Champs 2023, give us the story.
I did not buy this.
Okay.
Who do you think in my life would buy me a shirt?
Kim.
She got me the mug. She ain't
Okay.
got me a shirt. Do you think either of my 2 kids would have got me a shirt? No. It's a miracle they called me.
Parent-in-law.
My mommy sent me a Nugget shirt. I'm 54 years old, and my mommy is sending me clothes in the mail. So, Eileen McKee, thank you very much, Mom. I appreciate it. I'm wearing it. I would never buy this in a million years. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just don't do that. But I thought it'd be nice for my mom, who loves coffee break, although, trust me, they can never say coffee break. It's
Coffee time.
Coffee time, tea time. I mean, it's anything but coffee break.
We did that tea time one time for when the Broncos were in London, and it stuck for a lot of people. So your parents aren't the only one.
Yeah, they really do go to coffee time quite. Or it's like, that Rachel, she's on the coffee, and they kind of get stuck there. You know, it's a miracle they make it through coffee. But yes, they do watch. They just don't know what they're watching. But I give them credit because this is internet-based for my parents.
Real quick, Will, do you pull your own weeds at your house?
Yeah, I do yard work. Yeah, I do yard work.
Okay, same. D-Mac doesn't do yard work, but I
Yeah,
need to
because you're not 47 years old.
Listen to this. My grandmother, who turned 90 years old yesterday, was pulling weeds this morning, D-Mac. You have zero excuse.
Hey, when I see grandma on the John Deere with the weed whacker, and the edge mower, then I'll be impressed. Yanking a couple of weeds out of the driveway does nothing for me.
I'm like, maybe Grandma, for your birthday gift, I'm going to just hire somebody who can go pull your weeds for you. Because I feel like at that point, you don't need to be pulling your own weeds.
Listen, grout the koi pond. I mean, I get it. If you got nothing better to do, and I'm not saying your grandmother doesn't have anything better to do, but Rachel, not to play the ageism card here, but I was mowing my lawn like a maniac when I was your ages. Of course I was mowing my lawn when I was in my 30s and 20s. I had no choice. You know what? At some point, I'm going to lose it all, and I'm going to be living in a van down by the river. But until that moment happens, if I don't have to mow my lawn, and trust me, when I have to start kicking back on things, I think I gave away my lawnmower. I don't even think I have a lawnmower anymore.
Incredible.
I will sell my house before I mow my lawn again.
Well, do you pay some neighborhood kid? Because then you can just look at it as like, you're surplus in the economy, right? You're paying the youngsters.
Well, we went over this. I was paying Harry Gustin. He just got drafted by the Padres.
I saw Harry yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
So Harry was my guy, and he gave it over to another kid that I've known who's now a young man, Colin, who does a great job. It's not like a kid. Like Colin has his own business doing landscaping, so good for him. So I'm happy to continue to support kids that I've known who are now, grown men. Either way, I'm not doing it.
Fair enough. I'll let you get away with it for a little bit longer, but I probably will. As long as my grandma's pulling weeds, I better see you out there at least once.
You're killing me on this, Rachel. How many weeds did she pull?
I don't know. Well, when I call her back, I'll get the update for you.
Yeah, was she doing the entire driveway? Was she doing the entire sidewalk? Or are there a couple of bothersome dandelions that she just, was she wearing weed pulling clothes? I mean, frankly, why are you guys letting her do that?
I just told you that's what I'm going to get her for her birthday. Some kid who's going to go do it for her. But I'm just saying, 90 years old versus how old are you, D-Mac?
I'm 54.
I got to give you a little bit of
down by the river.
Down forever. Okay, let's move on to the ESPYs last night. Did you guys watch it?
I saw highlights.
It's tough to watch. It's a tough show to watch. Tough show to watch start to finish, especially. Yeah. I talked about this on Denver Sports Tonight last night. It's not a freaking hour tape delay in Denver. Yeah. So we see all the answers on Twitter, all the winners on Twitter, and then it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be surprised that so-and-so won. In the day and age of Twitter, having anything on tape delay is the dumbest damn idea of all time.
Also, this show is one of these award shows where the winners already know they've won before they go there. Yeah. It's not like the Heisman Trophy is probably the last sports award. Well, actually, I think hockey kind of keeps them in suspense a little bit. But everybody there knows they've won. I mean, Jamal Murray's sitting there in the front row for a reason. Yeah. It's not a question. So I just have never really been all that into the ESPYs. I've always just caught highlights. I like seeing some of the jokes. I like the Lil Wayne performance. I thought that was kind of cool, and everybody seemed to be into it. I like Norm Macdonald making OJ jokes back in the day. I liked certain elements of Peyton Manning. But, I mean, LeBron getting up there, revealing to the world that he's still going to play. I mean, I do like LeBron, but, yeah, exactly, Rachel. I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's enough of LeBron. I do like him, but he does things that are cringy.
But he gets people talking about him. I searched ESPYs this morning on Google to be like, okay, what are their awards? And what was it? LeBron's not retiring, everybody. Don't worry. They weren't even on the front page, D-Mac. I just want to let
LeBron, I want him to, that was a hell of a sweep. Nobody got swept better than you guys.
Well, and I'll give Jake Shapiro credit. He just wrote it at denversports.com, and he cooked LeBron pretty good. Let me get you guys the headline here. It was LeBron admits retirement talk after Nuggets sweep was self-created nonsense. And I think that's a good way to put it because LeBron couldn't understand or comprehend that he just got swept. So rather than let people give the Nuggets their flowers, he had to make it all about LeBron. He did. he regretted it, and he saw the ESPYs last night as the perfect amount of time, 2 months later, to kind of backtrack and make it all about LeBron again. If nothing else, give him credit. He is awful calculated.
Interesting. Yeah, he definitely has a good marketing team behind him too. Real quick, do you think that this Malone LeBron thing is like actually a little bit of like, hey, like we're gonna poke fun at each other? Or do you think there's a little something behind it?
I think there's a lot of something behind it.
Okay.
I think Malone is legitimately ticked off about the attention that goes other directions besides his team for deserved reasons. I know that they work together. I know he coached them, but they've spent many years as foes rather than as friends. No, I think it's pretty legit.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I think there's real beef there. LeBron goes to Europe and posts about Michael Malone on Instagram, saying, "Oh, I'm in your head when I'm just minding my own business." It's like, no, he's in your head because you had to go to Europe and post about him. If it wasn't on your radar, LeBron, you would have just enjoyed Europe. You wouldn't have been reading clips about Michael Malone giving you a hard time for faking your retirement. So, yeah, I think there's some actual beef here. I do. I'm with D-Mac.
I see this comment says, how lucky are we get to watch LeBron again? What a interesting phrase to get up there and be like, lucky for you guys. Today is not the day I'm going to retire.
I'm glad I've seen him in person many times. He can retire at any moment. He's the leading point scorer in NBA history. He has multiple championships with multiple teams. He brought a championship to pathetic Cleveland. I mean,
D-Mac, what's your hate with Cleveland? Because you were just hating on the Browns the other day. Now you're going after LeBron in Cleveland. What's the beef here?
I mean, it's just one of these sad, Rust Belt sort of cities. It's not as bad as it seems, but it's not good. I mean, it's Cleveland. I mean, I had a good time there. I did my thing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is cool, but it's Cleveland. But anyways, whatever. He brought them a championship, and what else? He brought us a bad movie, multiple.
True.
Well, Trainwreck was okay. Well, not Trainwreck. What was the one he was in with Bill Hader and?
That was Trainwreck.
It was Trainwreck. All right. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm saying. I've had enough of LeBron in terms of LeBronness. And the one thing I've said about LeBron, hey LeBron, let your kids just be their own people, okay? I'm a little over everything about LeBron connecting himself to his own kids. Let your kids just be your kids, okay?
I know this could go down a long rant, so I will steer us in an opposite direction.
Do you like LeBron? Do you like hearing about LeBron? Does anybody like hearing about LeBron at this point?
The best thing I love about LeBron is when he does his Taco Tuesday thing, because then I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go get a margarita and a taco on Tuesday, because why the heck not? You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. I'm over it. I was like, it's kind of a self-centered thing to get up there and be like, lucky for all of you, but we'll move on from that, because I feel like one of the best parts about the ESPYs was Damar Hamlin and how emotional he was when he got up here or got up there on the stage. And I don't know, it just kind of, I feel like I went back to that moment. Like everyone was around their TV. Everyone was talking about that moment. And to be able to see him get up there so emotional and to thank the people that helped him, I felt it's just an incredible moment.
Yeah, I mean, Damar Hamlin is the story of the sports year. I mean, we all almost witnessed a death on a football field, which is, something that's always kind of been in the back of people's minds of could someone die playing this game? And I mean, guys, we came within seconds of that being a reality. So for him to be able to honor the Bills training staff, I've watched the speech a couple of times. Yeah, it was so good. It was so well done. Damar Hamlin, everyone's rooting for him. And I think, he sort of epitomizes what's good in sports. There's so much bad. There's so much negativity. But Damar epitomizes what's good. And, yeah, that was the moment of the night. And a night that featured a lot of, like you said, Rachel, sort of self-centered and look at me moments. The Damar Hamlin moment stole the show.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. That was good. It's difficult to watch a long show just to get to that moment, but it's well worth watching that moment. So that was cool. I think it's there's a lot of amazing medical amazingness that went on that particular night. And yeah, it was incredible. And congratulations to those people that were recognized. That's awesome.
For sure. A highlight of the ESPYs. Jamal obviously walks away too with an award. I feel like, Will, was it your story on denversports.com last night about Jamal?
Yes, I wrote about Jamal winning best comeback athlete, and I also wrote about Michaela Schifrin winning best female athlete. We'll obviously start with Jamal. He was up against some stiff competition, but, the biggest one was probably Justin Verlander coming off Tommy John and missing almost 2 baseball seasons too, and then coming back at 22 and returning to a dominant level for the World Series champion Houston Astros. So it was basically the same thing of pitcher misses 2 seasons, wins a title. Basketball player misses 2 seasons, wins a title. So that was a good win for Jamal. Really nice for him to be recognized. He also had a good speech last night at the ESPYs. I enjoyed it.
I agree. It's a good comparison. That's a difficult choice to sort of make, I guess. Maybe just aside from the fact that, Murray has kind of won his first championship. He's a little bit younger, that sort of thing. But, I mean, a lot of really great stories. Let me just throw this in there. I've heard some people say Russell Wilson, comeback player of the year. The concept of comeback player is somebody that's overcome some sort of physical handicap, some sort of physical thing to come back from, not just being lousy. It's not really, you're not I was good, then I was lousy, now I'm good again. No, you've got to overcome something, in my opinion, to be the comeback player of the year.
Well, what about overcoming those 25 pounds?
You did overcome the dessert tray and carbs.
Will Peterson, that was a digger, my friend.
Not
You're all day.
Wait, that was so good. D-Mac, to your point, though, I semi-agree with that, but I feel like you can be a comeback player of the year if you were just terrible the year before. Like, there was other things going on. Maybe it wasn't an injury, but there may have been other things like we've talked about with Russ of, losing somebody very close in his life, etc.
The award should just have another name. It should be like, hey, you don't stink as bad anymore. That would be a good award. Like, oh, wow, we thought you were terrible award. Guess not. That would be it. The guess not award. Like, we thought you stunk.
So you're telling me that if Russ somehow takes the Broncos to the AFC Championship and after the terrible year, you're not going to give him comeback player of the year?
No, because he's got to, like, what did he – well, Will already had the best joke.
He did. He nailed it.
So I will continue to say no. Overcoming 25 pounds isn't quite heroic enough.
Overcoming the worst coach in Broncos history, right? Like, he got rid of Nathaniel Hackett and he got on to Sean Payton. Like, Russ had a lot of things working against him last year, D-Mac. So I'm actually a little more with Rachel on this of, like, he can come back from being overweight and a bad head coach. And frankly, worried too much about celebrity and social media. That's a self-created problem, but he's been better about it, right? So if we're going to criticize him for being bad about it last summer, we got to criticize him or praise him for being better about it this summer. So to me, come back does mean, like, jokes aside, overcoming. And there's a lot of things that went wrong last year for Russ. So in Rachel's perfect world, that, AFC title game, everything goes right for Russ, then yeah, I think he's in that conversation.
Hey, what is the status of Damar Hamlin as a player? Do you guys know?
Oh, he's playing.
He's been cleared.
Okay. He's going to win comeback player of the year if he steps onto the field in a real game, the end. It actually
his odds are like minus 6,000, D-Mac. Like the gambling odds are like literally like you have to bet $6,000 to win $100. That is as an overwhelming favorite as you'll find. Your point is correct. If Damar Hamlin plays football this year, he's the comeback player of the year.
I'm not saying, rhubarb cheesecake is easy to walk away from, but what Damar has done is a little bit more significant.
That's a very, very fair point. I guess I was just looking at it as, and now that I've said that, I feel really stupid for being like, oh yeah, I think Russ could be comeback player of the year, knowing that story. But in that, to my point, that just feels like a last season thing. Like I feel like the ESPYs was kind of like the conclusion of it. But yeah, there still is this other chapter for Damar Hamlin of like actually coming back and facing the thing that literally almost killed you, which is crazy in itself. So D-Mac, you're correct on that point. I'll give it to you. No matter how the Broncos do, no matter how Russell Wilson does, I'll give it to you. But Will, you were talking about the odds a little bit. So I want to get in to this because Jokic comes out and is plus 450 to be MVP again. Giannis comes in second and Luka comes in third at plus 600. Are you guys getting in on this 100%? You're calling Jokic MVP again?
You first, D-Mac.
Maybe because what I've realized in all the foolishness that goes into this award, where it should simply be, just look at the numbers by the actual year, but that doesn't count because of all the happy horse crap that we got last year. What matters is, and now that it's been used against Jokic, it should be used for him. What you do in the previous postseason seems to matter, plus the regular season. So what you've done last year at the end, including the regular season, seems to matter. So, okay, fine. I think that's stupid and silly, but I'm not the one that's making this crap up. There's a lot of other people that did in order to rip on Jokic last year. What has he ever done? Yada, 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 that sort of stuff. Well, now we know what he's done. He's won a championship and been the MVP plus the 2023-2024 season. I don't know, barring injury, knocking on all the wood I can find, barring injury, I have zero idea why Nikola Jokic will be any less of a player than he was last year. So, makes sense to me. Should have been probably 4 in a row, not 3 in a row.
I'm with you, Will.
Well, and those are all really good points, and I think to put a bow on this, he's going to get his apology MVP. The voters who put Embiid at 1, 99% of them felt like idiots. And there was a lot of them who put Embiid at number 1. So if he has the same kind of year, almost averages a triple-double, whatever, 27, 14, and 9, something like that, whatever, he is going to get the "we are sorry, we screwed up" MVP this year. So I love Jokic as the favorite, Rachel. I would get on that, and I understand why the odds makers made him a favorite, because they know what I just said. The voters feel like morons. They're going to make that up.
Do you really think that, though? Do you really think, or do you think that's it's in the past, it doesn't matter who?
No, I think Will's absolutely right. If you look at the Brian Windhorst of the world that pride themselves on being these basketball covering prodigies, the mea culpas they've done in the offseason are somewhat pathetic. It's like, oh, now you're saying it. Now you get it. I'm not talking about people who have never heard of Jokic, like certain TV commentators. I'm talking about people who actually really know basketball, really cover it, and decided it was Embiid, not Jokic. These are the people eating the most, eating the most. And they have been, like Will's pointed out, if you really are paying attention to them, they're embarrassed by it. And you can tell because it's an embarrassing stance to take. It always was, but what Jokic did in the postseason cemented it.
Well, I'm here for him. Let's bring another MVP to the guy that truthfully could care less about it. The other odds that are coming out are the game odds for the Broncos. And I was listening to Stokely and Zach the other day, and they did this. So I'm curious, have you guys seen any of the odds, or is this going to be kind of a fun guessing game?
For me, a little bit of a fun guessing game.
Well,
it depends on which odds. So I'm curious. You've got my attention. Okay,
so let's do it. We're going to go game by game, see if people should get on these early or if they should just hang around. Oh, it's C-Mac getting a call.
Sorry about that. Somebody who should have known better.
Should we take guesses on that?
No. Let's keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I always get excited when D-Mac's phone rings because you never know what little birdie's calling to give him a little tidbit.
It's nothing like that.
Sad day. All right, well, let's get into it. Raiders, Broncos, week 1. Who do you all believe is favored?
It's in Denver. The Broncos are probably 3.5 point favorites, I would guess.
Take the Raiders. I'll take the Broncos too.
D-Mac, what points?
2.5.
Will Peterson was straight on at 3.5. So the Broncos are favorited. What about the Commanders?
Broncos 2.5.
Is that here?
It is here.
Oh no, that'd be like 5.5 or 6.
Dang, it is 3.5 for the Broncos.
Wow, that seems low, guys. The Commanders may be one of the crappiest teams in the NFL. Like, you go through the 32 teams and name me their starting quarterback, you can do it easy for like 29 of them. The Commanders are one of 3 that's like, I guess they're going with Sam Howell. Man, yeah. I am surprised the number is not higher.
I went through this the other day, guys, of teams that haven't gone into the first round quarterback high in the draft sort of world. 23 of the 32 teams in the past 7 years have done that. Some teams multiple times. There are 9 teams that haven't or aren't doing it currently. The only 2 teams that are kind of solid are the Cowboys and the Eagles. And the Broncos, if I don't know wherever you are with Russell Wilson, the Broncos are one of those 9 teams. But there's other teams out there. I'm just like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, the Commanders are one of those teams. Tampa's one of those teams. It's like super weird. Like, I have no idea what the thought even is.
Tampa, though, I think is just trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do without Tom Brady. They're like taking a gap year of like, all right, Tom Brady's gone. What are we going to do? Okay, we'll do this year.
Well, I think they know there's 2 quarterbacks, Caleb May and Drake May and Caleb Williams. And there's a couple teams, and Tampa may be one of them, just willing to tank it out this year. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Washington is kind of another one. But, Washington's in a tricky situation because they're being sold and they're in a transition period. They're a mess. Washington, the Broncos got to win that game. I mean, if you can't beat the Commanders at home in week 2, I mean, seriously, that should be one of the easiest wins of the year.
But to Will's point of, it should be higher, this is clearly kind of saying what the odds makers think of Russell Wilson. And they're not thinking very highly on him.
That's the way it goes. The Broncos earned it.
Yeah, but if the Broncos are good, they need to win that game by at least a touchdown. They just do. So
at least a touchdown. Come on, Will Peterson. Hype him up a little bit more. Maybe like.
The spread's only 3.5, Rachel. Winning by a touchdown is actually pretty darn good.
Hey, I'll take winning by a point. I don't take any win. I am killing you guys today. I apologize. I am killing you.
What is it? Do I need to yell at somebody?
I don't know.
No, I'll yell at anyone. Okay, Dolphins, Broncos. This is in Miami. It is going to be hot and humid at the end of September. Who you got? This one should be an easy one.
Yeah, Miami got 4-ish probably.
I agree with Will. I mean, more than a touchdown. Or no, more than a field goal, rather.
Yep, it is 3.5 for the Dolphins. So that's not surprising to me at all. So if we're technically going by this, the Broncos are 2-1 going into October. It's not terrible. This one, D-Mac, my friend, the Bears in Chicago. What do you got?
Probably, that's going to be close. I'd say the Bears by 1.5, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a pick 'em. That feels like a coin flip game to me.
Indeed, it is -1, so they do have the Broncos, but it's very, very close.
Oh, that's interesting then.
Broncos are favorites. Because being a road favorite this early in the odds-making process is always a little significant.
Yep. So, D-Mac, who are you going to be rooting for in that game?
I'm rooting for the Broncos, but, I'm rooting. I'm rooting for the Broncos. I'm rooting for the Broncos, Rachel.
Okay.
But if the Bears win and Justin Fields has a good game, I feel sorry for everybody else.
Okay. If you guys say you were just doing this today, would you place any odds on that game? Or is it too close for comfort for both of you?
It's just too early for me. I can bet the game the day before. Why am I betting the game in July when I can bet it the day before and I've actually seen something to base my prediction off of? I understand why we're doing this because there's a lot of people who want to get the action in. They think the line's going to move. Believe me, there's plenty of a market for this right now. But for someone like me, it's like, why am I guessing in July when I haven't even got to see a Sean Payton training camp? I haven't got to see a Sean Payton preseason. I haven't got to see Russell Wilson under Sean Payton for 3 games. So that's where it gets tough for me projecting this far out.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you
I
make a
haven't
lot
heard
more money
anything
now.
I haven't heard anything that I want to jump on right here. I mean, I think what you're seeing is a trend of a very nip and tuck sort of season, which everybody is kind of predicting.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's all right. I mean, that's how you end up with 8, 9, maybe 10 wins. I mean, it's certainly a lot better than Russell Wilson only winning 4 out of 15 games that he played in last year. You know, it's way better than that.
True. Okay, the next one, the game I think everybody in the Mile High City is looking forward to. The Jets come into town. Who is favorited, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Oh, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. Got to be. I'll say 2.5, something like that.
I go the other way. I think the Broncos are favored by 2.5 because it's here, and that's what we're seeing on these lines for the most part. It's location, location, location. D-Mac and I are 5 points off on this one, Rachel.
Okay, well, it is indeed the Jets favorited, but
Wow.
+1. So they are expecting yet another coin flip for this one. Will the problem have been Russell Wilson or was it Nathaniel Hackett? That's kind of what this line is telling me right there is who was the problem, and that's what we're going to find out week 5. I can't wait for that game, you guys. It's going to be so fun.
We're finally going to get that answer.
Oh.
That has been an exhausting conversation the last year. Was it Hackett? Was it Wilson? We'll know. Maybe not even just that game, but we'll have a 5 game sample size by then. We'll know. We'll know by then.
Well, and you also kind of just told me what you guys already think. D-Mac clearly thinks that Russell Wilson is the problem, and Will, you think Nathaniel Hackett was the problem?
Yeah, and I'm just not sure what Aaron Rodgers has left in the tank. We'll have to find.
It's a good question.
Listen, Nathaniel Hackett deserves plenty of blame, Rachel, okay? I'm not trying to say he doesn't harbor some sort of responsibility there. I just think his degree of responsibility has been way overblown.
Yeah.
But it wasn't acceptable. There were way too many mistakes. And I do think if the Broncos, listen, what really hung them up, what might have saved the season, in all honesty, is if they had lost in London. But they did. They actually won that game. And if they had lost in London, it would have been fascinating with a bye week the next week and the season going down the drain, what the new ownership may have done right then and there. And if you really want to play that game, I doubt Rosberg would have been the coach. It probably would have been Evero, because with that much of the season left, I mean, I doubt. I know he's friends with Hack and everything, but I would assume that he would have taken over. Either way, the Broncos certainly looked better in the final 2 weeks. They attention was got, and things were corrected. I do want to point out something really quick. I'm watching Quarterback on Netflix. I highly advise it. It's produced by Peyton Manning. What a shock that Peyton Manning has got his hands in another football sort of production. It's done kind of in Hard Knocks documentary style. I'm watching it, and it's fascinating because Patrick Mahomes is one of the guys. Well, guys, guess what Patrick Mahomes has? He has his own quarterbacks coach, and he has his own personal trainer that he works out with during the season. He has the same exact things that we gave Russell Wilson such a hard time about, and he has that. The difference is those people aren't in the facility, but he has them, and he does use them during the season.
That's crazy that, I mean, how many years has Mahomes been in the league now? We've never really heard about that. But the second Russell Wilson's, I mean, D-Mac, your clip went viral of Sean Payton saying, no, nobody else is going to be in the building because we knew about his quarterbacks coach.
It was a really bad mistake just to embed your own people in the building. It was super unnecessary because you still could have kept everybody. And maybe let me make this point. It's not wrong to have your own specialists and your own people when you make so much money that help you. Marcus Mariota, one of his best friends from 5th grade, is his own personal chef. I think having a personal cook is a really smart thing for young, rich athletes to have. I mean, that's somebody to do your shopping, make healthy food for you, make sure that things are balanced and you're not living at the drive-thru that a lot of young people do.
Yeah.
I think that is money actually really well spent. I think having your own football quarterback coach that you trust is good money. Having your own trainers that you trust, that's good investment money. That Tom Brady used Alex Guerrero and started a cult basically with the Brady stuff. These are all smart things, I think, to do. It's just the way that Russell Wilson did it that set off so many people. So it's not what he did, it's the way he did things.
Real quick, this is a side note. Anytime I think of somebody having like a private chef, I don't think either one of you are on TikTok. There's this girl who's a TikToker and she's a private chef for celebrities in Los Angeles. Every time I think about that, I just think of every time she takes people grocery shopping with her and the bill for one dinner comes out to be like $1,000. And there's this blue milk that I don't even know. It's from Air One and it's blue milk for half a gallon. And I think it's like $32 or something like that. But I'm like, I feel like I need to try the blue milk that's $32 because does it taste different? Like, why is it blue? I have so many questions about this blue milk. But anyways, that's my little rant on $1,000 for one meal is just I mean, we're going to get to Taylor Swift in a little bit, but people are trying to buy tickets for $1,000 for one night, let alone one meal. You know what I mean?
$1,000.
$1,000.
People wish they were $1,000.
I think the cheapest one I looked this morning was $980.
I did this exercise yesterday. The cheapest one I found was $1,400. So you got a better site than I do.
Oh gosh,
But let's talk to Will about Taylor Swift tickets.
We'll get to Taylor Swift as well.
I think we're gonna get to Taylor. If we still got to do the rest of these Broncos games, I'm gonna put on my hosting hat when Rachel was in Hawaii. We got to keep things moving.
We do. We got a couple more games to get to, but we will get to Taylor Swift. I also want to get to the Pro Hall of Fame. But okay, we'll quickly go through some of these ones. The Chiefs at Arrowhead.
6.5 Chiefs.
It is a Thursday night game, so that could throw a wrinkle into it a little bit. But I actually think D-Mac's spot on. I think it's about a touchdown for the Chiefs.
7.5 for the Chiefs. Oof. Gross. Okay, can Jordan Love be what Aaron Rodgers was not for the Packers? October 22nd, the Packers are in town. What do we like for that line?
Broncos 3.5.
I think the Packers are going to stink, you guys.
I do too.
D-Mac nailed it again, 3.5.
Yep, it is actually 3.5. Nice job, D-Mac. Chiefs again, because, I forgot we have, Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs again, which is not good. Or maybe it is good for the Broncos. You're kind of familiar with it already. What do we like for that one as they come to the Mile High City?
Chiefs 5.5.
Okay. Well, I don't think it'll be quite that high because it's here. I'll say Chiefs 3.5.
3.5, right on. And the Chiefs, yes, are taking that. Okay, Bills the following week. That's brutal, you guys. What a tough
Bills by 9.
Yeah, isn't that the Monday night game in Buffalo?
That is a terrible game.
That's Sean Payton saying they're going to, stay after the game already, and you can already picture Bills Mafia on the tables in the snowstorm. 9 is so many points. I can't go that high. I'll go 6.5.
It is 6, so nice job, Will. Vikings, when they come into town, November 19th.
That's a good one. I'll say Vikings 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a prime regression candidate. I think everyone thinks Minnesota was a mirage last year coming back to earth. I'll say Broncos by 1.5.
It is -2, so you are right on point there, Will Peterson. Do we all agree that the Vikings, it was kind of just a fluke season? They were really good, won some very close games, and then, like you said, they're going to kind of regress?
I don't know, man. I mean, Kevin O'Connell had them clicking. I think Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback in the league. I don't think that's a miracle.
Oh, that's a guy who's been watching quarterback. Kirk Cousins is top 10 in the league? Oh, my gosh, you're killing me, D-Mac. He's like 17. He's the JT Comfer of the NFL.
How could we forget that conversation? All right, let's go on to the Browns. They come to Mile High City. What do we like on that one?
Broncos by 3.5.
Yeah, it's probably a field goal. I don't think the Deshaun Watson thing's going to work.
It's 1.5. They're expecting it to be a lot closer, which I'm expecting the Browns to stink. So, again, what the odd makers are saying, the Broncos aren't going to be that good either. That one is very surprising to me. But to be honest, if I'm going to do anything, I would probably go on that one and be like, I think the Broncos will pull away with the stronger one.
Oh, Rachel placing a bet for 5 months from now. I like it.
What can I say? I believe in Sean Payton, everybody. All right, moving on.
Somehow.
Amen, Will Peterson. Amen. The the Texans, December.
Oh, that could be big.
The Texans, Broncos by 3.5.
Oh, man, this feels like the Commanders to me. If it's not at least 6, they have no respect for the Broncos.
3.5, Will Peterson.
Oh, my gosh.
You guys, they are not expecting the Broncos to be good. It gives me a little bit.
Nico Ryans and which one did the Texans take? I always get confused. Did they take Stroud or the other kid, Young?
One of them.
Stroud, I think.
Maybe
The comment section will definitely let us know.
They took Stroud.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're telling me rookie coach, rookie QB are 3.5 against 9-time Pro Bowl QB, Super Bowl winning coach, and coach of the year? Tells you all you need to know about where the odds makers think the Broncos are right now.
Tough. Okay, Chargers in Los Angeles. Who do we like?
Chargers by 5.5.
I'll say 3.5.
3.5 indeed. Lions in Detroit.
Lions by 2.5.
I think D-Mac nailed it. Lions going to win the NFC North.
Ooh, okay. I do like the Lions this season. It is +3 for the Lions. Patriots. I always want to think, I go back to the days, right, of Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Every time I see the Patriots, I know that's long, long gone, but I always am like, the Patriots, man. They're coming to town, but I don't think they're going to be good this year, you guys.
I'll take the Broncos by 1.5.
Yeah, Broncos 2.
-3.
Oh, okay.
It shows you that they, like you said, Rachel, they're just not the big, bad, scary Patriots they were just a few years ago.
I read this morning an article about Belichick being on the hot seat with Kraft. So, okay.
Do you guys still look at the Patriots that way, or is it just me?
No.
Let me know in the comments, too. I just always think back to that was the game I always circled, right?
No,
I was like,
the Patriots are done. Any debate about Belichick and Brady was stupid. It was all Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady, they're a very mediocre team. They've been very inconsistent and weird in drafts, and they've just been bailed out because of Tom Brady, basically. So, no. Belichick's a very good coach. If you want to make the argument he's the best coach of all time, I'm not going to lose breath, arguing that one. Yeah. But you're only as good as your players are. I think Greg Popovich is a good coach, and look where they are. Now they have Wembanyama, so we'll see. But it does happen. I mean, if you lose, again, relative value, man, and who you got at QB. The NFL is not that hard to break down. And these coaches, I think what Seattle is doing is incredibly arrogant. I think they're going to crash back to earth this year.
Oh, I still wish that game could have been somehow on the schedule. All right, last two, we got Chargers and Raiders. I'll leave it because they have the exact same line. Will Peterson, you first.
Those are both one's in Denver, one's in Vegas.
Yep.
That's interesting. They have the same line. Broncos by 1 in both.
I'll agree with Will. Maybe 1.5.
Yep, 1 exactly. So they are favorited in both. So you like to see that. Could end on a positive note, maybe.
By the way, you got to understand with in terms of lines and betting stuff, anything under 3 means that you are the road team is actually the favorite. So you get 3 points just for being at home. Right. So look at how many games are really basic coin flip games here for the Broncos. Yeah. And because look at the difference in spread between Kansas City on the road and at home. I think that one was, 3, something like that, 4. I mean, you do get extra credit for just being at home. Mm-hmm. So what the odds makers are saying, I think, is right. It's a nip and tuck season. The Broncos aren't that bad, but they're not that good. It's a wait and see sort of season for them.
It is. Oh, there's so many questions. I'm ready for football to get started. But the Hall of Fame, you guys, there are some big names. And is this the year they're finally going to get in? If you have to pick one of the names, do you guys know all the 4 that are being considered as semifinalists? Do I need to name them?
Throw me the names.
Gradishar, Shanahan, Reavers, and Gibbs.
Reeves.
Sorry. Yes, Reeves. Gibbs, he's an offensive line.
Oh, Alex Gibbs? Alex Gibbs? Oh, wow. Well, he sadly passed away. Gosh, Alex Gibbs has gone that far. That's really cool. Well, I think Shanny's got to be one, and Gradishar has just been overlooked so often. Who is the other one? Oh, Reeves. Reeves has been passed over 10 million times. So I would say the only contender really there is probably Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, these are 60 semifinalists, so huge accomplishment. But remember, that list is going to keep getting whittled and whittled. So the Broncos to have 4 is awesome, but I'm with D-Mac. It's probably Gradishar and Shanahan that get further. With all due respect to Alex Gibbs and Dan Reeves, great coaches. that did a lot for the Broncos. But, guys, it's Shanny to me. I mean, come on. He's the only coach in the history of the NFL that's won 2 Super Bowls, not named Bill Belichick, that isn't in the Hall of Fame. What are we doing?
Yeah, I think
Shanny will be kind of a slam dunk.
But he should have been.
Though, aren't there different rules for? Didn't they create a different category? Right. I know. I think there's some sort of senior, other sort of way for him to actually get in. But I don't know it off the top of my head. But he may, he may get in via that way. But he's already. It's too late for him to go in the more traditional way. But I could have sworn they created some sort of different way for old timers that have been passed over throughout the years. I really like Randy Gradishar. What's that?
Mike's not that big of an old timer. He retired from coaching.
Oh no, not Mike. Not Mike. Mike just gets in the regular way.
Okay, you're talking about Randy. My bad.
I'm talking about Randy. I'm talking about Gradishar. Yes. Because it's too late for Randy to get in the regular way anyway. That's where I'm going. I think Mike's a slam dunk.
I hope so, but I still feel like there's something. We talked about this with Mace earlier this week, I believe, D-Mac. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for anybody to get inducted to any of these sort of things. So I don't know. I feel like it's strange, but maybe that's just me.
Well, until recently, guys, the Broncos were the most disrespected team in the NFL by the Hall of Fame. It's gotten better over the last few years. It has, but there was a stretch there, guys, where it was pretty ridiculous. So hopefully sort of that they've broken through that we don't get anyone in the Hall of Fame type curse that was on them.
I know. Well, I'm jealous of you, my friend. I'm jealous of your weekend plans. Are you going Thursday or are you going Friday?
Or Friday, Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. My head is wedding stuff throws me off. Friday or Saturday, which day are you headed down to T-Swift?
For sure Friday. Saturday, a little TBD. We'll figure that one out. But yes, for sure Friday.
You're going possibly both days?
We'll see what's in the cards. I talked about this on the drive with T-Mac yesterday. There are tickets to both in hand, but we'll find out. So
what?
Well, Rachel, we're gonna find out because as a very smart person, and I feel like a fool that I didn't try harder to do this. I feel like an idiot. This would have been the greatest investment in terms of turnaround in history. Because if you had a pair of tickets, depending on where they are, the profit margin you could make on selling them. So what Will's saying, which is a smart thing to say, is he's not sure whether he's going to sell the tickets or not yet. But
bought tickets for both days, Will Peterson?
Because he's smart.
He's freaking brilliant.
Yes, it's a smart thing to do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wish I had done it. I feel like a fool because I just didn't realize what this was really all about. I just had no idea at the time. Again, I'm a moron. I thought 7 was September. But I just did not realize what we're about to have happen this weekend is the greatest event in Colorado history.
I didn't realize too, Will, I will give you all the credit, what this was going to turn into. And oh my goodness, is it literally could possibly be one of the greatest events that Mile High ever sees, because it is it is Thursday. People are already camped out to get t-shirts, you guys. Like this is legit. T-shirts, they're at the merch line. It doesn't even open until tomorrow and people
are you kidding me?
No. And you can buy them all online too. Everything is still available online. That's what I don't understand. Yeah.
I never heard of that in my life. To my point that we're about to see the biggest event in Colorado history.
I'm shocked. I'm also so proud of you, Will Peterson, for buying both days. You, my friend, job well done.
Thank you. I mean, I will say I'm not trying to be businessman here. I'm a Swiftie, but it's hard to ignore the business side of things too, right?
Well, here's why you probably should do it. As much as you love her, which is justifiable, I get it. The show is so complicated. It's essentially has to be the same show every single time. I mean, it's not like going to a Grateful Dead show or a Rolling Stone show where they look at each other and they play a different song or something. I mean, this is a show that's going to be exactly the same every single time.
No, it's not. She's doing different songs for each thing. There are Swifties who are keeping track of every single song that she has done and crossing it out to figure out which song she's. It's insane. It is.
Wait, all right, time out. All right. My bad.
I'm gonna meet you guys in the middle. Real quick. E-Mac is partially right, and Rachel is partially right. There are a lot of songs that she will play both nights. There are. But there are also these surprise songs that she only plays one time on the whole tour. And if you get to be at the concert when she plays a surprise song, that's a big deal. It's usually 2 or 3 surprise songs a night. So that's what Rachel is talking about, these surprise songs that are sort of that was your one time in the 100 Era show that she played back to December. So that's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's smart. Again, another smart move by her and her people, and the fact that that, good marketing by them too, because that would make people want to go a different night. I mean, listen, you got to give her all the credit in the world. She's an amazing artist. I've heard nothing but incredible things about the show. I don't know anything about Taylor Swift, but I have a ton of respect for her. I just wouldn't spend that kind of money. But I'll tell you this, if some weird things happen and there are tickets to be had or a way to go, I'd be an idiot not to go because, you like seeing cool stuff. And this is definitely going to be something cool.
If anyone wants to call me up if they're under 500, let your girl know. I know.
They got to be really good friends with you to get that kind of price, Rachel.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
I saw a woman. Okay, real quick. I saw a woman got scammed because she bought 3 tickets for $150 a piece in the 100 level, and now she's mad that she lost her $500. And it's like,
come on.
One hand, my heart goes out to her. It does. The other hand, there was no way you were getting 3 tickets in the 100 level for $150 a pop. So
your seats are really good too, Will, aren't they? You're in the 100s.
Yeah, but those on the resale market, Rachel, are like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a pop. So again, I'm not trying to criticize this woman, but her thinking she was going to pay $150 a ticket was just, it was kind of delusional. That was you were asking to get scammed, thinking that's what someone was going to charge you.
Are you going to tailgate, Will?
Rachel, if you were Will and sold your tickets for $30,000, it might pay for your photographer for your wedding.
Right? Just for the beer and for the food, maybe. Dang it. I should have been a businessman like Will Peterson over here. Will, are you going to tailgate?
No. So my strategy, I'll just tell you guys, I'm staying as far away from that stadium as possible until Taylor Swift gets on that stage because I don't want to deal with the crowds and the heat and the openers. And I will just say from experience, when I went in 2018, a former Broncos birdie texted me the itinerary, so I knew the exact moment Taylor was coming on stage. I got to my seats 5 minutes before she came on, no line, got dropped off at my gate. And I looked around, and all these people already looked tired because they had been there for 4.5 hours. I will be arriving to Taylor Swift Friday night at about 7:30. I will have a cold beverage in hand, and Taylor will come on sometime between 7:45 and 8. And I'm hoping my strategy works again a second time.
It's a super strong strategy, and I would advise the same thing for training camp. You don't need to be there early, and you don't need to see them just do nothing. You'd be way better off. I'm not even joking. If you're one of those lucky people with those reserve tickets that you barely plan on using, I'd show up after, if the practice starts at 10, I'd show up around 10:45. Seriously, you're literally not going to miss anything. If you want autographs and they're doing them, you're fine to see them. I mean, there's really nothing all that special in the beginning of training camp. Maybe a player or two may come out. Maybe you want to see Russell Wilson run out of the building. But I mean, I swear that's all you're missing. I can't believe how bored people are during the first part of an NFL training camp practice. I mean, there's virtually nothing to see. And I think these people are questioning their decisions. Will's completely right. You don't park. You find some sort of transportation to get there. after the crowds are already there. He's got reserved tickets. There won't be any lines at the gate. If somebody's in your seat, you get to kick them out. You know, I mean, it's the smartest thing to do. Like, doors open and people rush in. Why? To see what? You know, I saw the press release this morning. They're opening the gates like at 1 o'clock or something like that.
Parking lots at 1, gates at 4:30. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Listen, I can understand tailgating. I actually could understand tailgating with a bunch of Swifties and playing the music and having fun. That actually sounds like fun, right? You know, that actually, like, if you're into that, that sounds like a really fun community. But aside from sitting in a parking lot for 5 hours, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Real quick, is this going to be the biggest event that we see at Mile High this year? Yes or no?
That was my Tuesday column at denversports.com. I said, let's hope not. But sadly, I think it is. This will be the biggest event at 2023.
Well, would this be a bigger event than an AFC Championship game?
Well, they're not hosting the AFC title game, so I can answer that.
But that's something that could happen. You know, well, actually, that's in 2024 too. So in 2023, no. If we're just talking about the rest of the year, that's a slam dunk. I think Millennium is coming. And I think Ed Sheeran is coming, I believe. And I think this tops those. And there might be a monster truck thing.
I was going to say, I had a friend who got a ticket to Millennium for $15 the day before. So I think Taylor
has that already happened? That's okay. How much I know.
I almost ruined my proposal because I almost tried to get Millennium tickets, and thank goodness I didn't. So, yep.
I didn't even know it already happened. Let's get back to that monster truck thing, though.
On that note, we will end. Will Peterson and I will be on Denver Sports Tonight. Come hang out with us at 104.3 The Fan. DMAC, maybe I'll stop by the drive for a little bit to chit chat with you too.
I would love to have you guys come on in. I would love that.
At 5 o'clock, maybe we'll roll up. Anyways, everybody tune in 104.3 The Fan tonight. Otherwise, we'll see you 10:30 tomorrow morning for a Friday edition of Coffee Break. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We all wish we were Will Peterson right now. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.